So, we've talked about when to come in for your conference, and I'll be here on Monday. And I want to ask you, first of all, about your lesson plan that day. What are your plans for that day, and how will you go about teaching that? What are your teaching strategies for
So
that?
with rehearsing music, you really have to go day by day. So I can have a set plan, but usually you kind of got to roll with the punches when you're doing a rehearsal because I could say, okay, 10 minutes with this section and it could take us 20.
Right,
And this section will do 15 minutes and it could take us 5.
right.
So you got to kind of think on your feet, and if there's if there's something they're really struggling with, you kind of got to adapt. So that's one thing that I think I do okay with. But the planning aspect, I'll start with a do now. So they come in
Okay.
and have something to do immediately. Just a few like theory questions to keep that kind of thing in their mind, because a lot of the times I really won't touch on that as much after the first week. So
Okay, and with those questions, where do they do those? Is that something you do out loud with the group, or do they write it in a notebook?
they keep it. They have a journal, so they're
Okay.
supposed to keep a notebook for class, and they keep it there. And I do regular notebook checks, so I'll make sure that they're doing the do now or taking the notes, or we do a lot of writing activities,
Okay,
so that they don't get too bogged down in the music.
I see.
So we'll start with the do now. They'll keep it in their journals. We'll go over the answers at the beginning of class. Usually I'll have them stand up. We'll warm up. We'll go over rehearsal. Usually I'll have different sections of each piece that we'll go through. We'll jump between pieces and maybe go back and forth. And then usually I have a writing activity. So I've had a lot of musical quotes. What does this mean to you? What do you think the author is trying to portray to their audience? You know, what is it specifically they're saying? We've done those. We've also done at the beginning of this week, you know, what do you expect to get out of chorus class? What are your personal goals in chorus? What should our ensemble goals be? So things like that, seeing where their head's at, giving them a little break from the music, and then getting them back in, they're ready to start over with the music. So then we rehearse again. And I like to do group things, so either sectionals, so breaking them off into their sections to work on, and I'll assign them specific parts of the pieces. Okay, altos, you need to work on this. Sopranos need to work on that.
Right.
And they split off. And this semester, what I'm doing different is I'm actually going to have a section leader. So when I was in high school, we had somebody who was responsible and dependable and could lead the group. So they'll have a leader that directs their sectional. Or like today, we're doing theory stuff, so I'm going to have them count rhythms and then practice counting out loud together as a group.
Good.
So group work.
Now, is that writing activity that you spoke of, is that separate from the do now, or is that the do now?
So it's pretty much separate because it's kind of something to give them a break. So do now gets us started, and we'll rehearse a little bit, and then with just to kind of get our minds a little break, we'll do a small writing activity, 10, 20 minutes, and then we'll either go back to what we were doing or we'll do sectionals. So it's just kind of like a little breather, something different to kind of keep their minds.
What characteristics do you look for a character, for a section leader? How did you know?
Participation's great, so they're always on task. They're singing when they're supposed to, because you'd be surprised how many issues I have with people that don't sing at all. So they sing, they're participating. They also have a good knowledge of what they're doing. Or another one is if they can play another instrument, or if they're a strong singer and they really are good at finding those pitches, so they can help the others with their rhythm and the pitches.
Do they have a pitch pipe or something that they use?
We'll usually do a cappella because we don't have a lot of pitched instruments. But usually I'll rotate and I'll work with each section for a specific amount of time. If we do sectionals, I might do 20, 30 minutes with sectionals, but 10 minutes for each section.
Okay.
So they'll come up to the piano. So they each have their turn with the piano.
Okay. And then we've talked about the do nows and the warm ups. And what are the other aspects of the lesson? Or is there any more? Is that how your day ends, or?
Usually we'll end it with either the group activity or rehearsal, or some days I've ended it with the writing activity. So I try and mix it up. So it's not always in the same order, but they still kind of got a routine.
Gotcha. That sounds great. Sounds great. How do you know your students are reaching your desired outcome for the day?
The easiest, I mean, with choir it's so easy because you can't really hide when you're singing, you know. And I like to, a lot of, you know, people think the director just stands in front and doesn't really monitor, but I like to walk around, and I know they hate this, but I'll walk around as they sing, and I might be singing with them, and so keeping them on task that way, and then I can hear who's singing, what's the sound. And then a lot of the times we'll split off. So altos, can you sing this section for me? Tenors, can you sing this section? So that gives me a better picture of what's going on, who's getting what.
Right. At the end of the day, you know what your outcomes are by actively listening. Okay. Good. Do you have any, at this point, and I know we're early in the semester, are there any student concerns or issues that I should be made aware of coming into the class?
I have a lot of participation issues. I mean, chorus, it's not like band, so they don't have an instrument in their hands. You know, they're not, it's not an English class, so the thought process is different. So that I have a lot of kids that love to talk.
Okay.
So chorus gets really unfocused really fast. So I have issues with participation a lot of the times. And then I think I have kids that are just maybe shy. So it's not that they don't want to participate or they're not good kids, you know. They're just nervous about singing in front of people, so that's another concern. So I've got my head in 5 million different places, you know, walking around. But that's one of my concerns is
Okay.
getting those kids to participate, because I think that's one thing that I'm trying to work on.
See. Very good.
Your dear Espinosa needs to come to guidance. Your dear Espinosa. Thank you.
So, do you have a seating chart in your classroom?
I will.
You will.
So this week I don't, because it's the introductory kind of thing. But by the end of this week I want to have them in their sections.
Okay.
And then I'll listen to each voice and decide which goes well with the other.
Okay.
And so that kind of placement I'll do like second, third week of school, and then they'll have sections, so they'll have a specific place to sit.
I see. Very good. So I want to ask you now, what would you like for me to focus on when I come in for my observation? What is your biggest focus area for me?
I'd say maybe just, like I said, I really feel like I need to work on the pacing so that I can improve participation, because I've got kids that, you know, no matter what you do, they fight you on whether they're going to work or not. So, especially in a chorus class, because, you know, their head's not the same as in, you know,
Right.
got to pass math, you know, and music, okay, music is fun, you know, it's different. So
what I'm hearing you say, and correct me if I'm wrong, that my focus needs to be how to improve participation, and the rationale is, your rationale for doing that is pacing, or vice versa. Like my focus is, you want me to focus on your pacing to see if it is effective for student participation.
Yeah.
The flip of that. Okay. All right. That's good. Typically, I use a mixed method to collect data when I'm in the classroom, and I'll take anecdotal notes. Anecdotal notes. That's a tongue twister. Anecdotal notes, as well as I will sometimes do a tally list, and I'm thinking, since you have your focus like it is, that I will tally the number of times students are not participating for you, so that we can have an idea, and so that when we start to tweak strategies and add strategies, you'll be able to see that. I'll do that every time. So our goal is to see that number, that tally decrease along the way. If you agree on that, that's what I'll do for you when I'm in here.
yeah, I think that'll help.
Okay?
Yeah, because, I mean, with another set of eyes, you know, because like I said, sometimes I'm just so focused in music, playing
Right,
piano, what is
right.
this, you know, it helped to have another set of eyes to maybe give me more, you know, bring it to my attention so I can fix
Sure,
the issue.
sure.
So I think that'll help.
Okay, good. Now, where would you like for me to sit? Where's the bed logistically? Where should I be in the classroom?
You know, it really, I mean, maybe in the back you could maybe be kind of just discreetly there, you know what I'm saying? So they can't really, out of sight, out of mind maybe, and you can maybe see more of their behaviors
Okay.
that way.
So you can think about it, but for now, I'll sit in the back, maybe in this section, but if you think about it and you think, or over the next few days, if you think, oh no, I really want her to be here because there are some things I need for her to be looking for me, feel free to shoot me an email. But
Okay.
for now, I will sit in the back, and I'll probably just kind of plant myself right there on the left side of the room.
Yeah, maybe after the first observation, we'll see.
Sure.
Maybe there's a problem area, and maybe
Right.
we'll.
And again, if you change your
Change it.
mind, feel free to email me, and I'll do whatever you ask me to do.
Okay.
So I'm going to come in just to sort of recap. I'm going to, my focus is going to be class participation. And the rationale behind that is we want to improve class participation, so I'm going to be looking for your pacing to see if it's effective and what we can do with pacing to improve participation. Does that sound on target?
Yeah.
Okay, like we're on the same page?
Yeah.
Okay. Again, if you find anything along the way or you think of something, just send me an email and we will certainly move forward.
Okay.
Okay?
Sounds good.
So, I will be here Monday week at, what time did we decide on?
The class starts, well, the bell rings at noon, so it's about 5 after when we start. So
Okay.
it's about noon.
Yeah, so I'll come in about 12 o'clock and get set up and get in the way. Very good.